to travel to an interesting place where you do know where to go, we have 4 great, viable options for you. Everyone likes to get on vacation from time to time. Having lived in our locations, we become somewhat of experts, so we know about our specific destination. Our locations are very intriguing and will offer a great time. We'll be covering destinations in Indonesia, the United States, and Iraq. Our first location is in the scenic Southeast Asia.
Yeah, so I just got back from a wonderful trip from Klang, Indonesia, and if you've never been there, let me tell you, it's an incredible place. A little interesting fact about the history there is that scientists have actually found fossilized remains of the most earliest men there that date back to 1.5 million years ago. So you can just imagine all the interesting things that could probably be there. Some interesting things that I realized while I was there is that many of the Indonesian people, they're actually very friendly. The only time when they're not is when they're merchants, and when they find out that you're a Westerner, then they assume that you're rich and they charge you ridiculous prices for their stuff. But if you get beyond that, they're pretty good people, But the one breathtaking thing about that, what's in Klaten, Indonesia, is a mountain that they call Mount Merapi, and they call it the Smoldering Mountain. Now, the reason why they call it the Smoldering Mountain is because it's actually a volcano, and it's only 4 miles away from where you'll be staying. Now I know, yeah, you're probably like, why would I want to go to a place where there's a volcano base? I mean, that's a little, don't know. Well, I mean, it's for the experience. I mean, who doesn't want to see a volcano, right? But although, if you go, I'd advise you not to talk to the locals there about the volcano, because, I mean, they're kind of loopy about it, they're bad sources. There's actually 2 people that wrote a book about it, and the book that they wrote was called Evacuated, Living in Indonesia's Most Active Volcano. They claim that it's the most active volcano in the world, but locals, can you really trust them, right? Don't even search the internet about this site either, because there's a lot of sites that you shouldn't trust. One site was on the Boston.com. They might see some crazy things like the volcano's erupted 60 times in the past 5 centuries, and that the last time it erupted was October 25th, 2010. But who trusts what's on the internet these days, right? So the price range, if you want to go there. It's only $2,000 to go right out of O'Hare. That's round trip. So what a deal on that, right? But really, I mean, if Indonesia is not your thing, you feel like the city life is more your style, my friend James here's got a place that's probably on your bucket list.
My destination is right here, about 250 miles away. It's only going to cost you about $110 in gasoline to get there round trip. While daily headlines on Thrillist.com that I accessed December 8, 2014 would say that headlines seem to dwell exclusively on decay, bankruptcy, and the possible placement of robo-statues, and then the unlikeliness of unfriendly people. But in reality, there's still plenty to impress even the pickiest of travelers to come see Detroit. Detroit's basically known for its sports. There's not much going on in Detroit, but if you're a sports enthusiast, right down the road, it's one of the best sports cities in the country. You got the Detroit Lions, who we all know Barry Sanders. It's probably the only reason to know about the Detroit Lions. That's really the upside of the city. Other than that, the Red Wings, a great Chicago rivalry, one of the best rivalries there is. And it's the 3rd winningest city of all time, according to Sports Illustrated Sports Almanac 2010. And I also got on December 8, 2014. Basically in Detroit, anytime you go during the year, you'll see during the playoffs, whether it's the Detroit Tigers, the Pistons, the Lions, or the Red Wings, you get to see a playoff game. Playoff games are honestly one of the best things to see when you're in a city. It's the whole city, it brings the whole city together. So if you really want to see the upside of Detroit, come see his Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, or Lions game. And if being downtown isn't your thing, maybe you want to head out to the country, and my buddy here can tell you about that.
Barrow, Alaska is the northernmost U.S. city. It's like 330 miles outside the Arctic Circle. Winter is a really wonderful time to go to Barrow. According to Alaska.org, access December 11th, 2014, the sun sets on November 18th, and it won't rise again until January 23rd. If you don't want to do the math, that's 67 days of total darkness. this can lead to seasonal affective disorder, which in some cases can lead to suicide. So that's another fun fact. And temperatures in Barrow can reach a balmy -50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's before you factor in wind chill. So you don't have to worry about getting too hot or anything. It's all good. And if the weather doesn't make you want to jump onto the first flight there, how about the alcohol? According to a study by folks detailed in pages 7 to 18 of a 1989 volume of American Indian and Alaskan Native mental health research, 40% of the people in Barrow said that they are self-described abusers of alcohol. And 50% of those respondents stated that alcohol caused problems within their households. 62% recounted that alcohol had led them to fighting, so there's some entertainment value there. Probably you might see a few things. And of those people, 67% experienced frequent blackouts. So, you know, what better place to black out than -50 degrees Fahrenheit? Might not have to worry about what you're doing the next day. It's a really unique place. I was actually there for 3 months in 2009, so I kind of got a chance to see how daily life was actually lived. It's a little bit different. You go to the store, you can expect to pay between $9 and $10 for a gallon of milk. And it's actually this is probably stemming from the alcohol issues that they had there. But if you're going to get like a fifth of Smirnoff, it's going to cost you $120. Bootlegging is alive and well in Alaska. And but, you know, if cold's not your thing, you might want to consider a desert climate.
From an article by the University of Baghdad, last updated this year, this capital city of Iraq was constructed from 762 AD to 764 AD and has been expanding ever since. The significance of the city is due to the availability of water and the lack of excessive flooding that the rest of the country has. This, along with the access to the Tigris River, caused rapid expansion of the city. Baghdad has been a battleground for many centuries, having defended invasions from the Mongols, the Ottomans, the English, and most recently the United States. Don't expect the natives to be cooperative with you if you go there. According to the CIA World Factbook, last updated 2014, Baghdad has a climate of cool winters and dry, cloudless summers. Along with that, they have frequent dust storms and sandstorms, so that's a sight to see. The most common languages spoken there are Arabic, Kurdish, and Turkmen, so good luck finding someone to talk to. In an article by a Navy pilot published in New Orleans Magazine in 2008, he says that many tourists, after getting past the hail of gunfire and the uncooperative natives, found many places to visit. Some of these places would be various holy sites, important sites from mankind's history, since Iraq is where Babylon was and everything like that, and large lakes along with date palm trees. And with that, there's also in the northern parts of the country and city, there are snow-covered mountains, so that's a sight. From Google Flights, I found that a round-trip flight from Chicago to Baghdad, leaving today and returning a month later, would cost about $1,600. With housing and eating arrangements, depending on if you can find someone who likes you, the cost is from $1,800 to $2,000. Baghdad, with its terrorism and intense climate, provides a great fourth destination.
So of all of these wonderful places that you can go to, whether you want to soak up the sun in Baghdad, Iraq, enjoy the coldest drink you've ever had in Alaska, witness the friendly culture of the Indonesian people, or make some new homies in Detroit, we can all agree that the locations mustn't be spared when you're considering your next vacation destination. Use these destinations to make great family memories, memories that will be remembered for generations to come.